And in the years that followed, Anne worked very hard, and I think in a very disciplined way, to really hone the sophisticated technical skills that are required to compete at the international level. And she did it at a time when there was no national ski team as such. There was no process. There was no real support. And by comparison, her competitors in Europe and elsewhere, for them it was their national sport. There were systems, there were national teams, and so on. So to be able to be competitive and beat some of these people is really an astonishing achievement. And Anne, of course, her character gives a lot of credit to friends and other people, and of course Lucille Wheeler is a prominent one. Lucille, Anne gives credit to Lucille, who, as I think you know, in 1958 won 2 gold medals in the World Championships, and that was a great inspiration to persist with Anne's goal to win the gold medal. Lucille also, I guess, was instrumental in getting Peppi Selden-Moser, an Austrian coach, to help get them up to that international level and to do on their own what is more customary now with the government and other support to help the national team. And Anne has had a lot of successes. Some of them are listed highlighted in the biography in the Canadian Ski Hall of Fame that you can see on the museum's website. And I'd just like to mention a couple that stand out and I think are dear to Anne. One of them is winning the Holmenkollen Giant Slalom when she was only 15. And Anne reminds us that, understandably, she was the youngest competitor in this group. And there were a series of races that preceded the Holmenkollen GS. And Anne did well, but out of the prizes. And the organizers of the event made this special little silver mini trophy for the youngest competitor. What they didn't realize was that the youngest competitor was going to blow everybody away. So that was absolutely fantastic. It's certainly like winning a major World Cup giant slalom these days at age 15. I don't think that's been done. And then later on, of course, in 1959, Anne became the first North American to win the Aalborg-Kandahar combined. Obviously a very prestigious event. So by the time the 1960 Olympics were approaching, Anne had clearly demonstrated that she could beat the best in the world. But as we've seen in Vancouver, just because you're good in the World Cup circuit and you're the top doesn't translate into a medal, let alone an Olympic medal. So Anne, in Anne's case, however, she not only won a gold medal, but basically she blew away the field by 3.3 seconds. And as far as I know, that record was not, that is a record, and it's likely to remain a record. It's very hard to imagine that kind of margin of victory being equal. When Anne came back after her medal, there was a lot of celebrating in Ottawa. The Queen sent her a message. There was a big dinner in which the Prime Minister participated. And there was a lot of other stuff going on that probably only Anne remembers. But I think that a lot of people who knew Anne then personally or from afar, I think had the perception that they were dealing with not just a great Olympic athlete, but someone of, as I said before, of technical sophistication, of strong character, of self-discipline, and of grace. And the reason that they celebrated her then, and that I think we need to celebrate her now, is because of that inspiration that she created, the mark, if you like, or the milestone in our heritage of Canadian skiing that will be a major milestone, really forever. And it's that person of supreme skill and dedication that really makes her not only a great champion, but a great Canadian. And so I think all these people who had that view had the right vision. And that's really what I wanted to say. What I'd like to do is now just to read the message from the Minister of State Sport. And incidentally, those of you who don't know, his name is Gary Lunn. He's a member of Parliament from Saanich, which is just north of Victoria. He's at the Olympics now. He was a FIS racer, an alpine racer, so he understands what we're talking about here. So this is from the Honorable Gary Lunn, Minister of State Sport. In February 1960, Anne Heggtveit, a young, decorated ski racer from our national capital, raced to victory in the slalom event at the 8th Olympic Winter Games in Squaw Valley, California. Not only did she win Canada's first ever medal in alpine skiing, I decided to leave alpine in there and not correct it because it's his words, but it's in skiing. But she also did it by the largest winning margin in Olympic and World Championship history, 3.3 seconds over her closest competitor. It was one of many outstanding achievements in an extraordinary racing career. In the 5 decades since her triumph on the hill, she has served as an inspiration for our country's young athletes, including many of the Canadian Olympians who are experiencing success at home at the 2010 Winter Games in Vancouver. She continues to make outstanding contributions to her country and her sport. As Minister of Sport, I would like to offer Anne Heggtveit my most sincere congratulations on the 50th anniversary of this historic victory. We have a little memento of your visit here to the museum. It's, I don't know, for those of you who have not been at the museum, as you see around the walls of the museum, there are posters for each of the Olympic Games from 1924 to 2006. And we thought that it would be appropriate to give Anne, as a memento, a copy of that poster framed, and in the little plaque at the bottom, it says, to Anne Heggtveit Hamilton from the Canadian Ski Museum, Canadian Ski Hall of Fame, on the 50th anniversary of winning the first Olympic gold medal in skiing by a Canadian. So Anne, here we go.